everybody. Welcome.
What's up? What's up? Okay, okay. I see Brandon. Brandon. Okay, DJ Barker in the building. DJ Barker in the building.
Hey, everybody. How you doing today? Again, it is Wednesday, November 1st. Welcome to Marriage Porn Podcast.
Mm,
Right, right,
mm, mm,
right,
mm,
right, right.
mm.
And I am your lovely host today, Brandon Barker, and this is my lovely wife, Jennifer Barker.
What's up, y'all? Look at that. Look at God. Look how you looking, Brandon. You looking sexy.
I'm
For
trying.
those. Listen, for those chiming in, my husband is always looking sexy. He got his muscle shirt going on. Y'all know, ladies, the tight one they be wearing with the arms looking all puffed up. He got that going on. He got a haircut yesterday. I told him he knows the rule. You get a haircut. You know what comes after that.
What
You
comes
already
after that?
know what comes after that. The fun, dirty style stuff. You know what I mean?
There she go. There she go.
But what's up, man? It's been a minute,
It
guys.
has been a minute. We've been doing a lot in the works and in the mix of things right
Mm-hmm.
here. But we still at it. We still at it. A lot of people we got some comments from people like, hey, where y'all at?
Somebody even asked, "Are y'all still married?
Yeah,
Are y'all still married? Y'all MIA? What's going on?" And we're like, "Yeah, we still married. Like we just been into each other and other things." But we've been trying to get, we working on getting back, get back right tight. Um, he just wanted to do that. It's the first tomorrow,
right.
so
Tomorrow, let's get it.
really,
We're gonna
babe,
get it
really, that's how you
started.
feeling. That's how you feeling.
Yes, yes. It is the first
So,
tomorrow. So again, we're back, So what topic did you come up with tonight that's very interesting?
well, we got somebody in the background, y'all.
Yes, we do.
We got somebody in the background. Y'all hear him? Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Got to be 7 months. I put this big old, y'all remember this Bubblicious gum? I put it on thinking it's gonna be a quick little chew.
that's hard as a rock.
This thing is so hard and thick. No pun intended. Hard and thick in the mouth. Okay,
Funny.
So what are we talking about tonight? Look, I got people chiming on because we're about to get live and dirty, but it's gonna be so good, y'all. This is about dreams and or fantasies you might have. Uh-oh, he thinks we're talking to him, so he's gonna chime in, y'all.
Right.
But dreams or fantasies you might have of someone else that's not your spouse.
Right.
Dreams as in like maybe someone just, you're at the park with someone else or out or something or on a date or hey, a date, I don't know. Or
All right.
fantasies
Yes.
where it could be someone else and it's a sexual thing coming down.
Yeah.
And for y'all chiming in, I see some people getting on live. What's up? What's up? Hey. So comment and maybe you don't want to comment like, oh, I've had the dream, and maybe you don't want your spouse to know, because that's going to be one of the questions.
Yes, it is.
Did you tell your spouse? Do they know?
Correct.
Go ahead, Brandon. You say you got a popping, right?
So yeah, so this is so listen, okay, so in the midst of these dreams, right? Or dream or dreaming. So are you having more than one? Or are you having just every so now and then when y'all having like a bad, outbreak, or y'all not seeing face to face, y'all having these different types of dreams because you're mad at each other.
Well, that's good.
You know, what usually occur. Has this happened to you, Jen? And if it has,
Like, why we jumping into me that quick?
yes.
Why we jumping into? Can we discuss the situations, Fred? You just dove in.
Because I want you to elaborate on the topic because you came up with this topic. Well, we both.
Oh, I came up with
Well,
it.
you know what? We both came up with this topic,
Mm.
but you had these dreams more than once about me.
Mm. Uh-oh. What's that? Talk about it. Talk about it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's the matter? Babe, put this one up. So it's interesting that you mentioned, I think when you put it up there, you might can give him his water and his cookie that fell.
Okay.
So For me, guys, I've actually had, well, it goes both ways. I've actually had one where it was mainly me in my dream with someone else. Here, babe, put this one up. What's that static sound? I don't like that. And I was like, uh-oh. And it's interesting because this has gone on for years. And Brandon be like, you have been going through this for years between huh? Yeah. You have been going on with this for years. And it usually happens around the same time. And it's usually around the time Brandon has his guys trip. And there's always something. He needs his water, babe, that fell, and his chupa. And it's always the same situation. I don't even know when, where, or what. It's just him. And it'd be like he done did something with someone else. And he's like, here we go. Again, I'm about to go to my guy's trip. We've been having these dreams for years. What is going on? It doesn't mean nothing has occurred, but that's one side of the things. The other side is you having dreams of others and you're the one in the dream. Has this occurred to anyone? And if it has, are you open to comment? Like, yeah, to me, I told my spouse, we talked about it, we got discussion into the why. um or maybe, was this affecting the marriage, or has the marriage been affected because of this, or was this a solution from that? You know what I mean? So those are different ways we could think about it.
Yeah.
Um, do you tell your spouse? Because you asked me if I had. I gave them both ways, babe. I gave them the you doing some things, and you Brandon hasn't cheated. But I will say, previous to marriage, before we were kids and all that, we did do our own things. So I think sometimes maybe bringing stuff from the past into the relationship, which is not good, but I think that's a reason sometimes why. Because, he did do his thing and I did my thing. So maybe that's something that kind of caused it. But the main purpose for tonight is not really about me thinking of him and him thinking of me. Because I don't know if you ever have you?
What, had a dream?
Of me with somebody else or doing something or whatever?
Yeah, I have. I have. I have had that dream, and I spoke to you about that dream.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, the thing is about that is when we wanted to get into the topic, do you tell your spouse about that? Or I think it depends on how that person actually reacts.
Is that me, babe? Or is that you?
I'm trying to see. Right.
Sorry, we are actually recording live for one of our videos we're going to be posting up for the podcast that we are launching as well. So we're doing like a test run tonight, but we had to do our live because it's been I think well over 2 weeks, and we wanted to really like get back raw and dirty for y'all. So you're saying like you're talking about if it's been me with someone else, but let's talk about if it's you or dreaming of other. If you have a dream of another female, or if I have a dream of another male, now is it the same person? Thank y'all for chiming in on Instagram. Thank y'all for chiming in on marriage porn, P.O.R.N. I appreciate y'all. Now, is it you um with the other person? Like, do we know this person? Or is it just an oblivious scenario with no face? Because there's dreams that can happen like that.
Correct.
You can have dreams that you don't ever see the face, but you're seeing maybe the situation, or maybe I don't even know if you even see you getting somewhere. I don't know. But when this happens, because it happens, you're not gonna tell me you married 5, 20, 30 years and you might have seen a movie and it was a hot dude, and then now you're dreaming about the dude being all over you. I don't know. But the question is, do you tell your spouse? Now, if this hasn't happened, or if you want to comment just to kind of be like, let's just say our opinion, you should tell your spouse or you shouldn't. Comment, please. Comment, chime in. Do you tell your spouse? Why do you think you do? Why do you think you tell me?
Well, the thing is, I think about first of all, what's your relationship with the person that you did dream about? Is it somebody
Mm.
that you see on a regular, or is it just somebody out the blue, or
You don't know them.
or it's nobody that you can actually put a face to. You just could put a skin tone or a body or something to it.
Remember I said that? Yeah, you don't see a face. I think you had one of those one time.
Right.
Fernando says hello, y'all. So that's important. Is it an ex? Is it a neighbor? Is it a coworker? Is it someone you just randomly saw one day and you were just like, that person was fine, and now you fantasizing because maybe one, your sex life at home is not going well. Maybe your relationship, maybe your relationship with your spouse is not good, and now you're fantasizing with this hot mailman you keep seeing every other day.
Yeah. So that's the thing right there. If you're seeing somebody on the regular, or is it somebody that you just randomly see? Now, I think if it's somebody that you see on the regular,
Hmm.
then it's something
It's
that you
annoying me.
having some type of fantasy or something that you're holding on to.
You might have an inner crush still going on.
Yes. Or a hidden crush.
Or maybe you don't know it. Maybe because something is not going well at the home, maybe you don't realize that you have something. Like, cuz maybe it's something you miss at home. Like, what if, let's say the wife hasn't been getting the sexy lingerie on,
Correct.
but then you see the coworker coming in with a cute little one piece or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an example.
That's it. That is a great example. So let's get into the topic. Do you tell your spouse about this, or
Well, we tell each other.
do you leave it alone?
I think it's important. You to bring Shuba. I think it's important to discuss it with your spouse. And you also have to be careful though, where you're, like Brandon said, who it is and what your relationship is with your spouse.
Mhm.
Like if me and you are not in good terms, it's hard for me to be like, yo, I just had a dream about me getting stuff from this dude or from, I don't know, I'm just saying, especially if we're not in a good place, if we're not doing good, if we don't even really communicate, or if our sex is not good, if we're not really bonding intimately. Now, can this cause more issues and friction in our marriage because I'm having these I want to call them fantasies, you know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it depends on the relationship, the relationship you have with your spouse. Are you able to be open and discuss these
Mm-hmm.
types of conversation with your spouse? If not, if
Why are
you
you sucking my
if
babe?
you're not able to discuss these type of conversation with your spouse, then I think that's when more of a counseling session should be played and get more involved in, where you can have an open discussion about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you can actually literally have a mediator that is willing to help you guys get through this process, because you don't know how the other one will react. So if you have a counselor, then now we can see where the root of this dream came from. Where did this dream come from? Where did this, this thought process of you having this come about? Is it something that you're doing? Is it something that your spouse is not doing? And that's when you got to work together, as far as having that counselor to be the mediator. And then on the other aspect of the person who's not having this dream, they might have these questions and you don't know how to answer them, at least right away. And sometimes you don't have an answer to why you having these dreams, right? And you're like, I don't understand why I'm having these dreams. Everything is going good, but it's something that's popping up.
What if you
And
just horny?
and that could be another situation too. If the intimacy is not there in the actual household with y'all two,
Mm-hmm.
then that's another reason why this can. But what you want to do is you want to find out the root, and it also can go on this factor that you're not attracted to each other no more, right? That can play
Right.
a part. If you're not attracted to your spouse, and now you're going to these different places where you find people that are attractive, or find people that are in the light mind state or have the mindset that you have, and it's attracted to you. sometimes it doesn't have to be physical. It could be somebody that has the same type of mind state and the same type of,
Something that turns you on.
yeah, that turns you on, the willpower that you like, to get up and go, they're motivated, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're energizing. Every time you see them, they're in a good mood and stuff like that. But if you got a spouse that's always down and out,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that won't work.
I can't hear it, babe.
It's doing it.
It did it? Well, I
Yeah,
can't hear it.
because I turned it down.
Oh,
But
because of the static?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Sorry, we got some upgrades and all the fun stuff Brandon been working. This is all Brandon, y'all. I'm gonna give credit to Mr. Barker because he's been working on all this stuff. It's still he's still working on it.
yes.
But it was me like, okay, babe, you've been doing this for a minute now. Can we get alive?
So
Can we
yeah,
please come back to the crowd? Can we come back to the audience? Because he wanted it to be a little. I was like, it's a little bit perfectionist,
yes,
just
I
a little
am.
bit,
But I want it to be perfect because
right?
it's still going to be perfect. I'm still going to do some editing. Even after
Mm-hmm.
this, you will see the edited version. That's why we got the green screen in the back and stuff like that. But it's
Looking
going
a
to be
little
some
crazy,
edit.
but we got some content though. So I was like, yo, we got to do this before I forget. Even though I got my notes, I wanted to do this because it's important. Now, what I wanted to do, what I do want to mention is how did this topic come about this recent?
Isn't that funny, right? How did
Isn't it so funny?
yes. So transparent. We've been in an okay space, just to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Every relationship goes through their thing. And
Not like not okay bad, but okay good.
it's not like, hey, yeah, we get married, happy, like, honeymoon status, but it's not like, oh no, I'm tired of you, get on my nerves type status either. But it's just been on a good side, it's been okay, good, right? And then actually the funny thing about how this dream came about, it was after the fact that I was literally intimate with my wife.
Like literally like the same night.
Yeah, so this is after the fact of intimacy that I had this dream. And
Then he did not, so it's not like he didn't. And
you gotta say all
and he did.
you
I'm
can
just
say
saying,
that,
we just being real with
you
it,
can
right?
say I
I'm
reached
just
the
saying
peak.
he
You ain't
reached to
gotta
the
get so
max,
mad.
okay?
You
And
get
y'all know
so
how it is to bust a nut, okay?
you about to
Okay.
get so
What the thing? So
anyway.
he did, and then the dream that night, I was like, "What? Did I not do my job right,
Yeah,
Mr. Barker?"
God. So even after that, right? Um, I end up, having this dream, and it was like a wild dream, wild place, and it was a random person, right? And I'm not
Super
gonna mention the name,
random.
but it was so random. It was like,
I need to reach out to her.
no, it was like a 20-year random, and it was like
Not even an ex or
not an
nothing.
ex, not
Cause y'all know I ran.
any.
Cause y'all know Jenny Boo Boo ran down the questions. You know, I pulled out my detective hat 101. I asked every question in the book, blah, 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 to make sure it's not a reason for this dream.
Right. So, and the person was pretty much we just friends. We never kissed. We never, and it went back to even high school. And I was
She
like,
ain't even cute, y'all. Oh, sorry. Anyways, moving forward. So, anyway, so that's what
I
brought
always
us
gotta
to
put
this.
that in there. They always gotta put that
So
in there.
that's what brought us to today because I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. And you know what? My next question is, or one of these questions is, do you do the role play that your spouse dreamt about? That's the next question. Do you do it? Like if your spouse tells you, like, oh, I had a dream with the cute police officer the other day or something. Do you like, okay, babe, so now am I getting a police outfit for you tonight or like this weekend or like what are we doing? Like, are you now gonna role play this or is that too close to comfort?
Too close to comfort.
I'm gonna go see. Look at this guy. He's tripping.
Yeah. I don't think you do that because I think that kind of will like kind of trigger some issues in your relationship. I think you want to stay away from that type of fantasy if you did have a fantasy. And, now if your spouse like, well, you can do that to me, it depends on if you have the mindset to handle that. If you got the mind capacity to handle that and not be tempted to do that elsewhere, go for it. But if this is something that's really going to be traumatic to you by you consistently thinking about this fantasy, and you know, it's not in the best interest, or it's going to affect how, your spouse feel about, oh, now you want to do this all the time type thing, and I would say that's a no go, as far as on that aspect of just, you know, trying to fulfill those fantasies.
Mm. Mm. Cause y'all know I was ready to get all the toys.
Silly.
I was ready to get. You said it was what? What type of cookie? What type of cake? What was it? Okay, hold
There
on.
she go.
What is it? Oh, okay, that's what you want me to get. But anyways, so that was the next part, and then moving forward onto the next was, um, do you tell your spouse everything about the dream or the fantasy, or are you cutting parts out? Are you like, yeah? So I was with this situation and this went down. And then your spouse is maybe like, so who was it? Do you know? And you're kind of in your mind, but you're like, no, I don't remember. I'm not sure. I didn't see. So are you telling it all or are you saying some?
Bits and pieces. Well, if you're gonna open up that can of worms, you might as well just go all the way out with it. You know what I mean?
What if maybe the spouse can't handle it?
Well,
Maybe the spouse, what if it's I'd be thinking of everything. It's a situation that maybe let's say there was adultery and the adultery was with an ex or something, and then what if the dreams are coming back with the ex? Like maybe that's gonna be real triggering for the marriage or whatever. Like, do you really discuss and say, or
well,
like where
that's what
you
I was
at?
saying. That's what I was saying as far as the counselor. Or you got to have some type of mediator if you guys are going through those types of issues. You can't just have that conversation at home and discuss that straight out if neither one of you guys can handle what's to come from that. And like I said, if you're gonna tell the whole thing, you got to know that person. You got to know your
Mm-hmm.
person. You got to know your spouse. Like, yo, I know if I tell her this, she's gonna go in on me.
Right.
So let me save this for the counseling session
Mm-hmm.
so we can go about this the right and correct way instead of having a blowout at the house.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. That's a good option. And if there's no therapy sessions, then that's the reason that y'all not doing that right.
Or, if you can't afford therapy, there's always, you can go to some type of
Our church
religious
does, I was
leader.
about to say, our church does free counseling, coaching, whatever help. We
Yeah.
can help y'all. We do, coaching, and we do different programs. So
Or,
it's out there. Resources are out there.
yeah, or you can find, a mutual mentor that
Mm-hmm.
you both respect somebody that can see, or you can go to, maybe, a married couple that y'all look
Or you
up
trust.
to and you trust, and, you know, uh, that's been doing this, or in a marriage group,
Mm-hmm.
that you can trust that they'll keep this confident. I mean, not confident.
Uh-oh.
They'll keep this between you
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
and they can give you some good steps because of the fact that they might have experienced this as well,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the longevity and experience, or they've been
Yeah,
through
somebody
things
you can
like this.
confide. The next part is, does this mean that there is other feelings or might be issues with the spouse?
Well,
That one's good.
yes. Does this mean what things?
Maybe there's feelings with this person you're dreaming about. Maybe there's no feelings with your spouse, kind of like what you mentioned.
And that's another subject you can get into is, we're not gonna get into that tonight, but it's, something like called soul ties where you're still hanging on to somebody. You still got
I
their
didn't know
feelings.
there was such a thing, y'all. Brandon had a between Brandon and our church pastor. They had to break it down to me because I was not understanding. Because I went through this, guys, and Brandon, he talks about certain situations, and I know with me, I didn't know this was what I went through, and I was going through that with a particular person, and I didn't really know understand. I just was like, oh, maybe. Y'all know, I was just like, maybe he's not doing well, or maybe something's going on that I should reach out, or I would have to guilt, like, what if something happens and I just thought about the person, or.
Well, this is where, you really gotta have that sense of like letting things go. Um, if it's somebody that you had a serious relationship for before in the past, you really gotta let that go. You gotta let it, be what it was, and especially it's gotta be to a point where both of you guys can handle it, you
Right.
know.
No, you have to discuss it. You
And
have to.
I'm not saying like you can't be like friends on social media. You don't, gotta be
I
dramatic.
don't know. That might be a little. That might still be.
But this is the thing, you know, if it's to the point where, it could be to the point where they're commenting on your pictures, something like
Yeah.
that.
But see, but then it goes back to, did you have that conversation? Because when you told me this whole thing, and I've heard about it at the church, and we had a whole marriage thing, I was like, what? I had to have a conversation with the person. I had to, Brandon knows, and I had to tell them, like, this is it. Like, it has to just be a let go.
And
Like,
that's the thing. You like if you're having conversations and you think it's just a friendly conversation, but it's really not a friendly conversation. If you're having conversations outside, talking to them for over like 5 to 10 minutes, if it's not like, yo, did you know Raheem on the block did this real quick, or something happened to him, or did you know about this person passing away? Then we don't need to be on the phone no longer than like 5 to 10 minutes.
yeah, and then you also got to think about it. Would you want, like, put yourself in the other shoes? Because that's when Brandon started talking to me about it, and I was like, would I want be on the phone or dreaming or thinking of, or what if this or what if that, with old ex serious relations that he had? Like, I would be furious. I
Yeah,
remember there was a similar case with when I was pregnant with some one of his friends, or some ex or something, and I think she respectfully was like, you're pregnant, y'all doing y'all thing. I'm gonna also kind of fall back. And I'm like, yeah, like, you have no choice. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fall back.
yeah, and that's another thing. Like, okay, so you're on the phone and you get the phone call,
And that was not this baby. Just so y'all
and
get that
and
straight.
you come back and they're still on the phone. It's like 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later. Like, now it's like, what are y'all talking about now? You know, that's what the other person's going to look at you guys at. Like, yo, okay, y'all are still on the phone? Like, what's going on?
Right,
Right?
right.
So,
So what about, I'm sorry, babe.
go ahead.
So that goes into the issues and the feelings. Now, what about with your spouse? Does this kind of show an underlining of issues that you might be having with your spouse and you don't know about?
I think it shows the underlining of your communication. That, the communication between you guys are not there, and that you're not on the same page at this point in your relationship
What, but
where
what
y'all
up?
open.
But what up? The continuous dreams and fantasies. I think that's a different level. Like, one or two times, okay, what's going on? Because we still want to figure out what was yours about.
Now let
Like,
me tell you.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, okay,
Now let me tell you about the communicate. Like, if you're having multiple dreams, I'm sure you're not telling your spouse about that. Just to be real, you know what I mean? Like, come on, if I'm having a dream every couple nights about somebody or something else, like,
but why not?
because evidently it's something deeper that you can't really discuss with your spouse at this time because it's something that you're dealing with.
So then what do you do?
That's when you really need to get help.
Because I'm thinking issues with spouse is gonna start coming about in your heart. Like, okay,
No, because what happens if you're having those multiple dreams and stuff like that, what happens is you start to play it, you start to act on those situations, you know, because you're not doing nothing to resolve it. So it's one of those things like how life kind of works. Either you're
Mhm.
working towards a good thing or you're moving backwards. Or you never stay in the middle with a situation. You're either going the wrong way in a situation or you're going in the right way in a situation.
Right.
It's never you just if it's a situation, it never it's just stay it is what it is. It's never is what it is. It moves into something, or it digress from something, it retracts from something. Like if you have an addiction, either the addiction gets stronger or the addiction gets less, right? It doesn't just stay, oh, no, I just do it like this. No, it starts to turn into something where it's more convenient for you now.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it's harder to be like, oh, I had another one.
Right.
Oh, I had another one yesterday. And then the next question, how is the sex?
View section. I'm getting interviewed with these questions.
Now the next one is, well, you said you had questions, boo. Like you said you was ready to prepare. Where's your notes at?
No, I got the next podcast.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you got the next one.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
gonna be
okay, okay, okay.
interesting.
So the next part of it is, but so then how is the sex in marriage? How is the sex in a relationship at the time? If it is one fantasy or a couple dreams or what? Like what about that part?
Why don't you answer that yourself? You want to answer that question yourself? How is it?
Why do I gotta answer that?
Because I want to know.
What do you want to know?
So how is it? How do you feel? Do you feel like, are you thinking like, is he thinking about the person he had a dream with, or are you thinking about like,
I think so. I think if it's a dream and especially if it's a random situation and you just got some, I'm like, wait a minute, something has to be going on in your brain for you to this to occur. Because remember, this is the subconscious mind, right? I still haven't figured it out, y'all. Like Beast, like, oh, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know.
but it's like
I still haven't figured it out. Like the situation,
I don't know where it came from. Like,
person, the stuff in the dream.
no,
You
I
told me
told
the
you
whole
person.
breakdown.
He just. And he thinks it's
Are you
funny.
serious?